What's it like being blind? Like, how did you navigate from having sight, going through this traumatic event, not having sight? Like, what was the first step in terms of like figuring out how to navigate the world with blindness?
The first step was acceptance because I really didn't want to accept my vision loss. Within actually the first 3 months of losing my vision, a caseworker from Department of Rehabilitation contacted me, and they just found out from the hospital that I'm someone who lost my vision from a traumatic brain injury. They gave me resources. They said, "Hey, here's a school you can go to rehabilitate yourself. Here's this." And I was like, "Yeah, thank you," but I just didn't really care for it. I was just like, "This ain't for me." I threw it out the window. See, at the point, I didn't want to accept the fact that I was blind and I needed stuff. I literally just wanted to get back to life. I wanted to just get back with my band and be playing music. I wanted to get back with my job and doing things. But I had to accept the fact I went through a traumatic, life-changing experience and life was different. It took me a couple months of that, just anxiously waiting for my friends to be calling me back and for me to go to band practice and just go about life. After a period of time, I realized it's not going to happen. So I just had to learn how to do new things and just live a new way. And that's when I started just slowly rehabilitating myself too.
What are some of the advantages and disadvantages to being blind?
That's actually that's actually a good question too. So one of the differences too is since I'm someone who lost my vision at like midpoint in life, like age 19, since I wasn't born with my vision loss, I would say that's actually one advantage that the visually impaired have that are born since a blind. Sorry, it's one advantage actually people who with their vision loss since birth have is that they never actually have to go through a lifestyle change. It's what they just know from life growing up. It's who they are, what they are. They don't have to go through that life change. That was a disadvantage for me is growing up with vision, then losing my vision, having to relearn how to do everything. So I already had my lifestyle and the way I did things, the way I operated. I had to completely learn a new way to do something. So that was a big disadvantage for me, is having to relearn everything. Another disadvantage is my mobility. It's not easy to get around as much being blind. I used to be a mechanic. I used to love driving and getting around easier. Now I don't have access to a car. I have to use public transportation or rely on things like Uber or just walking places. And as someone who lost my vision age 19, it took me a while to get confident utilizing public transportation and walking around and stuff. That was a big hindrance is my lack of mobility. Yeah.
Do you miss having eyesight? Do you remember what that was like?
That is a big disadvantage. Yes, I do miss actually having my vision. Yeah.
What do you remember? Like, what's like the first thing that pops into your head?
So one of the first thing that pops in my head when I remember vision is actually this iconic photograph of me and my brothers.
Yeah.
My dad's a photographer and he took this one picture that's just a very, very iconic image of me and all the brothers. It's like the Ellard brother picture.
Do you have that picture somewhere?
I'm sure I do, but I just can't I don't remember exactly where it is.
Okay.
And I can't say if that is the picture or not, because
Right.
right. So that is a mental image I have all the time. And ironically, a lot of the mental images that I have and the things that I still see are actually photographs because my dad's a photographer and there's a lot of photography around the house. I remember photographs because I have a photographic image and memory.
Yeah.
But since I've had my eyesight gone now for almost 19 years, half my life, since I've been blind for almost half my life now, I'm actually starting to forget what things looked like. Like I have a general vague like I can remember what colors look like in things, and I can get a general image of myself and what things looked like. Um, I can kind of remember my brothers and things, but I mostly can only get really vivid photographic memories of actual photographs. Like still photographs are the things that I can really vividly see still in my head.
Do you have visions in your dreams?
Yes, I do. That's something that is actually I'm very grateful for, but at the same time I can't stand it. It goes two ways because while I'm dreaming, I absolutely love it. While I'm sleeping and dreaming, it's like that is awesome. I can see again. I can see some cool things, and I'm even playing around with lucid dreaming, some astral projection style, because I can notate that I'm dreaming because of the fact that I can see. I can realize and be conscientious of it. You know. So yeah, I love the fact that I can dream. I have my vision in my dreams, but then when I wake up, it's like, whew, I forget. Now I'm gonna have to wake up and deal with my reality that I'm actually blind in real life.
Yeah.
So it's almost like gives you like a yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember your dreams? Do you have very vivid dreams?
I do actually. Me and my girlfriend were just talking about it. I do like 50% of the time remember my dreams.
Has attractiveness changed for you since you're blind?
Yes, it has actually. So I used to be a pretty superficial person. I was a rock star, man. I cared about having a really attractive person in my life, and my relationships, a lot of the people that I dated was just based on shallow, superficial, just physical attraction. We didn't have much connection. There wasn't a lot of companionship there.
Yeah.
They were unhealthy relationships. Um, and also, yeah, because I was somebody who had low self-esteem, and insecurities, I was really, really drawn to actually very, very narcissistic, inconsiderate, uh, basically mean people. Because narcissists are really drawn to people with low self-esteem because they can manipulate and control them easier. People with low self-esteem, like myself, are drawn to narcissists because we look up to them and idolize their confidence and think it's really freaking cool, and I want to be like that. So my relationships was all just based on very, very, very unhealthy beliefs of myself and society and things. So why my suicide attempt happened is because I had very, very bad circles of friends and the people I was around and things. So I eventually, through therapy, I became aware of this, that I was attracted to bad people, and I eventually learned how to love myself. Loving myself, I actually looked for the right people for the right reasons. I found honest connection, I found companionship, I found like-mindedness, people that I relate to on a much better basis. We have similar ideals, and yeah, I'm attracted to good, kind, genuine people, and I'm not attracted to assholes anymore. Yeah, that's how my relationships used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, physical attractiveness is an important part in what I look for in a partner. And I just wonder if I didn't have sight, how my concept of physical attractiveness would change. I've never thought about it before. Um, yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, and that physical attraction I have even stronger when I have that mental and emotional connection with the person, that attraction on a deeper level. That
Yeah.
the physical is then there, it's more of an intimacy, you know? It's, yeah.
Yeah, it forces you to have stronger connections with people in a way.
Yeah,
So that's definitely an advantage.
it really is an advantage.